Hey, folks. Cheers for tuning in. Already got 3 people waiting. This is awesome. We're doing well. Got a guest, so I'm going to bring him straight in. Here he is. Mr. SITHLORD229. How's it going?
Not so bad. How are you?
Yeah, doing well.
Good.
How's your morning treating you?
All right, I've got my coffee, so I'm ready.
Likewise. It's 8:30 on Saturday night, and it's almost my bedtime.
Oh, not sure if coffee's the right choice then.
No, it's all right though. I need to stay awake for the people. I'm here for the people.
Yeah, likewise. Like it's just turned 10 here, and I'll get ready for my breakfast in a bit. But to make sure I don't nod off through this, I've got my coffee ready.
Nice one. Here's cheers.
Here's synchronized steps.
I got Matt Mando, one of my members on YouTube in the chat. Hey mate, hope you're doing well. Got Chief Chirper, hello there. Hope everyone is well. So what's been going on? What's happening in the world of Star Wars for you?
Oh, what's not happening in the world of Star Wars for me?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's it's been a little bit wild. I've been a bit on you'll probably already know, I've been on a bit of a nostalgia kick in terms of recent purchases when it comes to Power of the Force 2. Been going a bit mental with that. Just tapping back into my childhood really, and picking up a load of stuff that I either had when I was a kid and lost, or never had and wanted when I was a kid. So just working on putting that shelf together, sort of putting together little side missions in between picking up new stuff, and just putting new displays together and all that sort of thing really.
Nice.
And yeah, just making sure that because the room's been I think 18 months in the process of getting complete, and I think I'm nearly there. So
nice.
At some point in the next few months there'll be a big scale collection update, because I'm pretty much finished on everything, waiting on a few bits and pieces to come in that I've got pre-ordered. I've got the Mando helmet pre-ordered.
Oh yes.
Set aside a space for that on one of the billies.
Nice.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been on a little bit of a kick. Like it's cool that when you hear other characters have like little side quests in their like main collecting, like in between getting new stuff. It's cool. Yeah. Power of the Force 2 that's my childhood as well. So I've sort of been building up that collection slowly over the last, I don't know, probably the last 2 years. I reckon I've really tried to put more focus into picking up figures that I don't have and wanted as a kid, and to finally hold figures. I know they've updated these characters 100 times over, but to have something that you wanted so dearly as a kid, have like open a figure that you could have opened 25 years ago, it's like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
It's so good.
My eBay watch list is pretty much all Power of the Force stuff at the minute. I keep getting sent offers on things. I'm like, yeah, I want to buy that, but just wait a few more months until payday. A few more weeks until payday.
G'day, Ed. Thanks for tuning in.
Morning, Eddie.
Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, what are the prices for you guys in the UK like for trying to pick up old Power of the Force stuff?
It's weird because I think I mentioned in one of my Power of the Force reviews that I did recently that I couldn't remember 10, 11 years ago heading to like conventions and toy fairs and all that sort of stuff and picking these figures up for literally pocket money prices. Like you could go to one of these shows and pick multiple Power of the Force figures up, and they'd be modern, sort of towards the back end of the line to figures that were released in '95 that were common as muck. But it's really weird because you could pick them up for so cheap then, and now they seem to be steadily. I think it's because the popularity of Star Wars is sort of back. I think I think people are just seeing Star Wars on something and saying, yeah, let's charge all the money in the world for that. But yeah, I remember years ago picking figures up for like £2 and £3, and now it's like to pick up a basic Power of the Force Darth Vader, it's like you're looking at 8 to 10, and it's not as cheap as it once was, but it's a necessary price to pay.
Yeah, it seems to be the same down here at the moment. It's sort of $15 to $20 Australian is sort of the going price for your sort of, I guess, more common Power of the Force figures.
Mm.
You know, the green card backs and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just nostalgia. Like Power of the Force now has a generation of, you know, adults that grew up on that stuff. It's the same as vintage, but hopefully we're not looking at paying like $400 for a yak face in another 20 years.
No, not unless it's packed with a Power of the Force 2 barge.
Matt Mando became a YouTube member. He already was. Maybe he upgraded. If you upgraded, absolute legend. It doesn't actually tell me that here on the screen, so if you did, I appreciate that. But that's awesome. So, what are some of the Power of the Force figures you're kind of hunting for? Like, what are some that you're really after?
There's quite a few. So, how long have you got? One of the things that I really want to pick up within the next few weeks and months is the Cantina Showdown Cinema Scene pack, which had Dr. Evazan, Ponda Baba, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because that's one of the things that I'm trying to do with that line is not so much complete it in the sense I've got every version of every character, but just pick up like the what I think are the best versions of the characters that were released in that line. So instead of saying, so I think I mentioned in my Emperor Palpatine review, instead of picking up the basic Palpatine that comes with his cane, I've just picked up the one with the Force Lightning. And likewise with like Obi-Wan and Ponda Baba, I'll just pick up the Cinema Scene pack because they've got the more dynamic poses going on. And so in that respect, I'll probably not bother with the single carded releases. So I'm just trying to go through it and pick up like the definitive Power of the Force 2 releases of each character, if that makes any sense. I know the definitive
definitely.
and Power of the Force don't really go hand in hand. but yeah, the cinema scenes I think are something that I'd really like to track down because I never had the Cantina Showdown and I never had the purchase of the droids. So to get that one would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it counts as a cinema scene one, but I got it was sort of like the electronic ones, and I still have my ones from a kid, and there was an Obi-Wan and a Vader, and you connect the two bases together, and they've got the electronic lightsabers. One of them still has its original batteries in it, and it still lights up today. Obi-Wan, I think Obi-Wan has gone flat, and Darth Vader still has a very, very faint glow. But those lightsabers snapped off so many times. They've been poked in. They've been glued back in.
I had the Luke Skywalker from that series that you mentioned. The power, I think the power effects were they called? And they got the
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and they got the massive battery packs on the back, and for that reason, they had to give Luke Skywalker a cape.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because he had the big hump on his back, and I remember getting that figure and thinking, "Well, Luke never wore a cape in the movie," so I took the cape off, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe that's why he's got a cape."
Yeah, I'm actually trying to track down this poster. I've only been able to find it on eBay. If it wants to pop up, I'll try and hold it up to the screen there.
Oh yeah,
but it's like all the Power of the Force goodies. Like, I'd love to get that poster. I can't even find any like high-res copies of it online that I can go and print out myself. It's just you could almost
becoming a rarity.
Yeah, could almost just get some photos of every single figure and make my own, but we'll see.
Go for it. That'd be good. But yeah, there's a ton of figures. I think it's just the overall ridiculousness of that line. It's just so good. it's like I think last year I picked up the deluxe Boba Fett that comes with the massive smuggler jetpack.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't stand on a shelf. You've got to lean the rocket launcher up against something to get him to stand up, but it just looks so stupid. It's one of those things, isn't it? It just creates a look of its own. You've got a ton of, because that's one of the other things I want to pick up is the cruise missile trooper. Don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Not off the top of my head. I'd need to look it up again.
It's let me see if I can find a picture. It's that really weird vehicle design. I'm pretty sure it was recycled from one of the G.I. Joe lines, and they just instead of having a figure inside it, they just stuck a trooper's head in it.
Yeah, right. One. All right. Okay.
And there is it doesn't show up very well on the screen, but there is a trooper's head in the middle there, and it's it's a repainted TIE Fighter pilot helmet in white.
Oh wow!
But they didn't put a figure in it; they just put a head in it. And
okay.
so it's just a vehicle with a head popping out, And like I say, I have no idea where the vehicle comes from. It's obviously it's nothing we've ever seen in Star Wars. But it just looks
look at the
so
middle.
ridiculous.
Look at the middle. Yeah, the middle section looks like one of the Delta 7 Jedi starfighters.
It does a little bit, yeah. It does, but yeah, it's just such a weird design.
That's bizarre. Yeah,
and I just really want it.
I don't recall ever seeing that. I'm sure I have at some point over the years, but that's bizarre.
I remember dribbling over it in the action figure archive book that Sansweet did. There's another shot of it. So it's just such a bizarre design, but
it is.
Because it's so weird. I think that's one of the things that's really quite charming about Power of the Force 2 is that there were a lot of Hasbro creations for it. It's sort of like the mini rig line within the vintage collection. Well, the original vintage line, in the sense that you didn't have. There's a lot of stuff that they put out that wasn't seen in the movies, but they wanted to make stuff affordable for kids. And so, like, you've got the Cruise Missile Trooper, you've got the mini deluxe packs, all that sort of stuff, and I love it. I just absolutely love that line.
They did some cool EU sort of vehicles as well. Like they did the Airspeeder. There was a couple of other different, like there was a swoop bike. I know that was from Shadows of the Empire, but they did some odd stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, to take a little bit of a license with like the deluxe Fett you were talking about, like they did a Han Solo with like a rocket glider, and he's got like some orange jumpsuit on over the top.
Yeah, and then you've got the Luke Skywalker on the desert skiff.
Yes.
That Hasbro thought was so good they had to re-release it for Clone Wars, and they packed it in with an Anakin figure, I think, about 15 years later.
Yeah.
But it's just such a wacky line. I love it so much. It just it epitomizes the 90s for me, and because I wasn't really collecting any other toys through the 90s. Like I had Action Man and I had all that sort of stuff, but Star Wars has been my one true love. So it just screams nostalgia. I just love it. It's such a good line.
I still have. I'll get to some comments in a moment just to catch up. I still like when I was a kid. I got this piece of cardboard and I cut all the different figures off the back of the cards, which is something I really miss. Yeah, I know for some weird reason they can't do that anymore because they can't advertise products that aren't actually available anymore. Like. There's some weird thing there with Hasbro. They can't actually show older figures. But back then when you had so basically I cut them all out and I stuck them all back to back. And I had this one big sheet of all these figures. And I just lay in bed and just stare at all these figures. And there's some that I'd circled that I had and others that I just dreamed of getting and never did. So it's cool to be able to go through that list now. I can still see it. It's on my Power of the Force shelf. I've got a couple of Power of the Force shelves myself. And I can see the T19, the T60. No, what's the Skyhopper? T9.
Oh, T16.
T16.
Yeah, that's one that I had. And I went through a phase where I'm sure you'll have been there as well. But you know, when you get into that stage of Star Wars collecting where you're like, these figures are crap, and I need to update these figures for definitive sculpts. So I got rid of so many Power of the Force figures only a matter of like 8 or 9 years ago, and I so regret it now that I'm putting the collection back together of them because I just think God, I could have saved myself a fortune.
It's the same as the pre-posed ones from like Attack of the Clones from 2002. Like they went through a phase where I look back on them and saying, "Oh, they're rubbish." You know, they can't even pose them. And now I'm looking at trying to get them all because I'm like, they would look great on my Geonosis Arena that I've got set up. Like, and then I can move the like super articulated good figures and have them like elsewhere displayed, but and keep that as like a 2002 sort of setup.
Yeah. Plus, you appreciate those figures for the sculpts and the pre-purge. Yeah, they've got that shelf presence, haven't they? And if you're not going to move them around and stuff, then
exactly. I like that they use metal lightsabers too. That was a cool feature.
Yeah,
and magnets.
Yeah.
So Matt said. He skipped Jedi Master and gone straight to High Council following in the footsteps of Anakin. Matt, you have no idea how much I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I will hit you up very soon and we'll get you on the stream for a chat and we'll hang out and talk some Star Wars if you're keen. Eddie, my Star Wars collecting started up all over again with the red Power of the Force 2 card figs back in 95. Been picking up a few in the last 3 months. Awesome. Hey, Jedi Trek. Even though I have them all loose, love the red card look.
Yeah, that's one of the things that baffles me about Power of the Force, though, is the fact that there were so many different card variants. Like you've got your red cards, you've got your green cards, you've got your holographic cards, and I'm just thinking, God, I can't. I think that's probably one of the reasons that I'm missing out on really cheap figures on eBay, because I'm looking at the wrong cards.
Yeah,
So
and then they did
some.
some. Yeah, then they did some with Comtech chips later on when they lined up. We were getting close to episode 1.
Yeah,
and then they did the flashback photos for some of them. Yeah, it was so weird. Like I was looking at something recently. I can't remember where I saw it, but someone sold. It was a holographic carded. So it had the holographic sticker, but it was just the Weequay skiff guard, and that, or it was the other way around, or it was the one with the Comtech chip or something. It was weird, and that went for like a stupid amount of money because there just weren't many of them out there. I'm like, it's just a Weequay skiff guard.
I think it's the freeze frame slide Weequay that fetch a decent price. That's another figure I really want to track down, because I've got one, and it's in pretty poor shape now because I bought it second hand and loose. And he never had the weapons. And one of the things that always fascinated me about that figure was the fact that it came with a stormtrooper rifle. Like, yeah, and it's stuff like that that just really, really taps into my childhood, because like I remember Weequays running around in Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 with stormtrooper rifles. So it's like, yes,
yeah, right, nice. Chief Sherpa. I'm collecting the Power of the Force droids as one of my side missions. Decent prices, still mostly on auction sites, but definitely a rise in prices on this line over the last year or so.
Definitely.
Collector 1970. How's it going, dude? Appreciate you stopping by. Power of the Force, the only line with Space Werewolf.
Yes. A continuation of the Space Werewolf saga from one of your other streams, I think.
What a cracking figure that is.
It really is, isn't it? And they've not done another one since. So it's still the best one.
Yeah, they did the Jedi one from Gendy Clone Wars. What's his name? Volvif Mon. No, that's pretty close, but yeah, not the same. I may have the poster right next to the wall behind my PC. Nice. I want it. Send it to me. Off-World Adam, how's it going, man? Appreciate you coming and hanging out. I also have one rolled up, never been opened, from plastic. If interested, I can sell it. Ooh, I'd be very tempted. Based in Tasmania. Very, very tempted. Shoot me a message somewhere in one of my places and we will chat. I've got a little bit of a sore throat tonight. It's not sore, but I feel like I need to keep clear of my throat. Maybe it's the coffee. It's also the shift. Hasbro is more articulated with their model design than Kenner was. Love the mini poster DVD sets. Off-World Adam says, hello, SITHLORD229.
Hello.
The past made a lot of characters I don't think we'll ever see made again.
That's a very good point.
There's so many characters that have just come out that I don't think we'll see in general. Like from the last like 6 movies, five movies that we've had. We're just not going to see like so many of these background characters. It's really bums me out a lot. But
yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I mean, even going back to the line and towards the end of that series when they were releasing like Imperial dignitaries and all that sort of stuff, like Power of the Force even though they had a very distinct look that not a lot of people got on with, that line was aimed at collectors, because what kid is going to go out and buy a Cantina Bartender or an Aunt Beru? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that was a collector-focused line.
Absolutely.
And I miss that. I really do.
Pity he only reads super chats. No, I read them all. I was just a little bit behind. Yeah, definitely get in touch, Scatlord. I'm here. Just a little bit behind on the comments, but I'll get back. Is that the freeze frame Weequay? Yeah, that's the one I saw somewhere. Awesome. We're up to date with comments. Hit me up. There's like a couple of like really strange Power of the Force things. Like there's one that I have. It's a deluxe set, and it comes with like Darth Vader's TIE advanced cockpit, but it's open. It has no wings. It has a trigger on it, so you can shoot missiles out of it. And like it's got this weird Darth Vader figure that's, it's so bulky and power of the forcey, but then he has these articulated knees, so he can sit down and he has like a soft goods cape. And I think I literally have it stashed away somewhere because I don't think it needs to be out and about, out on show. But like,
that's where me and you differ then, because that one's in my eBay watch list as well.
Yeah, I have it up in a.
They did
have it up on my data shelf somewhere, but
did another couple of things like that as well, didn't they? Based on the Falcon cockpit, where you had the not the Falcon cockpit, the gunner stations of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
You had one that came with Han and one that came with Luke, and they connected, and you had this sort of weird bridge design with two big dishes on either side.
Yeah. I remember a friend had one or two of them. I can't remember, but didn't one of them come with like a video game or something? Like,
I know the one you're talking about. It is literally like the Falcon cockpit. It's like a playset in and of itself. And I think, didn't you plug it into your TV and then put the disc into the playset or something like that? I know. I'm gonna have to find it now. I know exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
And it's bugging me. Didn't it come with like inside the Magic DVD or something like that?
I can't remember. It's just like fleeting memories in my mind at the moment. So
we will find it.
Hey, Jesse, thanks for showing the Star Wars Insider with the Boba Fett awesome front cover that your good wife gave to you. Was able to pick up a copy yesterday. Awesome. Yeah, it's a pretty great cover. There's some cool articles in that magazine.
That's it. Found it. Star Wars Power of the Force Millennium Falcon CD-ROM playset. That's the one I think you're talking about.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like it's the Falcon cockpit, and I think you plugged it into your TV, and then you put the CD into the playset.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so It's so 90s.
It really is. Even like the picture of the kid playing on his computer on the box. I love it.
Yeah, but he definitely looks like his mum gave him a haircut with the old salad bowl over the head and just cut around the sides. That might be more of an 80s thing than a 90s thing, but people were definitely doing it in the 90s.
It sadly was a 90s thing. We're all
Everything old is new again, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great weekend. Yeah, it's I would love to get some more of the beasts from the Power of the Force, because I've got the Rancor, and the stupid thing doesn't stand up. So I found this little plate of glass, and I've like super glued his feet to the glass, so he just stands up on like a stable, heavy base. Because it just keeps tipping over. Like, it's just something about Rancors. They just don't stand up. No, they're very just top heavy. But I want to get the Dewback. Still, I'd love to get the Dewback.
I've got the Dewback. I just don't have the Sand Trooper. I don't know where he's gone. So I've got a Power of the Force Dewback, but no rider. But another beast I want to pick up is the Rondo box. I never had that when I was a kid either.
Yeah,
that looks awesome.
I just saw Only One Kenobi just picked that up himself recently. He's trying to do he's doing his like big Tatooine display, and he just got a Bantha, which is another beast I don't have. Wow. But yeah, the Ronto looks cool.
Yeah, I missed out on the Bantha a couple of months back. I had it on eBay, and I made an offer for it because someone was selling it for like £70, and I thought I can get that cheaper. So I made an offer. I think I made an offer for 60, and they declined it, and it sold. And then you try and look for one now, and I know they re-released it later on in the 30th anniversary collection. But to get that Power of the Force one, the original Power of the Force one, you're looking at about £200 now.
That's outrageous.
I know.
It's time for a re-release. I think it's time for a new one with with Mandalorian. Like, there's more Banthas in there you could ever see in the original trilogy.
Exactly. The demand is there.
Darth Fur _9 says great review, Sith Lord.
Thank you very much.
Jedi Master 98. Hello, lads. Hope things are well. Things are well. Hope things are well with you as well. Salad bowl cuts are in right now in the UK with hairdressers shut for sale.
Tell me about it. Look at this. I haven't looked like this since 2008.
I saw it made international news, but a barber shop or something in London somewhere got busted operating, sneaking people in and out the back door.
It's so weird. Weird times we live in.
Oh, it's bizarre. It's like prohibition.
Yeah.
But
Well,
for haircuts.
We've got to wait until the 12th of April for hairdressers to open up again.
12th of April, wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's like another 6-7 weeks away at least, and I'm just, I'm dreading it. The wife already said, she said, I'm gonna have a bash at cutting your hair. I'm like, no, you're not. I like my head where it is, thanks.
Same here. Been enjoying your reviews of late, plus all your older reviews, of course.
Cheers, Eddie. Appreciate that.
There's a big catalogue there.
There is. I don't even know how many videos I'm at now. I haven't looked.
Maybe a ballpark figure. What would you guess?
I know I'm in the 900s.
Yep.
I'm pushing towards 1,000. Let me have a look.
Oh wow.
Pushing. Let me see. I can never figure out how to find out how many videos I've actually uploaded on the channel, because YouTube Studio is rubbish.
Yeah, it doesn't show you. I think I worked it out recently. I think you have to play all videos as a playlist. Or
I'm not doing
like
that.
No.
Yeah, I know I'm in the ballpark figure of like 900 and something. I'm probably about 50, 950, something like that.
Dewback, Ronto, and Bantha are amazing. I've got a Dewback that was part of that. What was it? The Discover the Force Movie Heroes Episode 1 line that came out when Episode 1 came out in 3D, and that was a repack itself. But I've always watched Darth Prime's Douglas the Dewback videos, and I've always just wanted one of those Dewbacks. I just never got around to getting one. He is bringing Douglas back apparently too. So I really like the Power of the Force Jabba because he doesn't look like that in that scene no more. So now it's a piece of history. The first Star Wars Special Edition Jabba.
Yeah, first to know.
I like the other one that had the I know it was Episode 1, but he had the goob and he had the open mouth and used to spit. I don't know how it worked, but
didn't you used to put like a projectile in his mouth or something, and you press a button and he used to spit the alien out at the gong for the pod race starting? Something
like that, yeah.
So weird. The 90s were a fantastic time to be alive. Really
I've been going on a little bit of a Phantom Menace kick over the last probably 2 months, I reckon. I bought a pod racer. I bought Anakin's pod racer and I modded it. And what else did I get recently? The Cardu. I'm trying to find the big Falumpa set.
Yeah, that's
with the ammo wagon. I'm trying to get some more Phantom Menace stuff because I'm on a bit of a Phantom Menace kick at the moment. Sci-Fi says, nice to see SITHLORD229. Been following you since 2011. I need to catch up on your new ones.
Oh, there's a fair few to go through if you've not watched since 2011. But thank you. Appreciate the kind words.
Told you, Sith Lord, you need to sell your video collection. I would buy.
Coming soon. 4K Blu-ray.
Morning, Clayton. Hope you're doing well. Don't have to apologise at all. I have the Gungan Battle Wagon. What did you think of the new vintage collection reveals from what would have been yesterday for you, last night, I suppose?
Yeah, I was panicking because I thought, oh, I've already got tons of stuff on pre-order. I don't need to add anything else to this list. And I thought because they'd hyped it up in advance, I thought we'd be getting quite a decent amount of reveals. But we only got the two. So I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah,
I'm ecstatic. I really am happy. Like the vintage collection Lando is. I'm so happy about that figure because I never got the vintage OTT one.
Yeah.
Closest thing I have to that is the comic pack one that came out with the Marvel colors where he's got the really bright red cape.
Yeah, yep.
And it is, by today's standards, a pretty terrible figure anyway. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think what I love about that one so much is the fact that it just looks like they scaled down the Black Series version.
It does. It really does. And the cape looks fantastic too. Like it looks
like it really makes me wish that they gave a soft goods cape to the Black Series one now.
Yeah. That would have worked really well because they could have done it. They've obviously got the materials. So
yeah.
What's going on, Hasbro?
Really very, very excited about that one.
Yeah.
IG-11, I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. But Lando, I'm really excited.
Yeah. I'm glad that IG-11 looks like a new mold. I was worried that they'd probably just get the old IG-88 and put the new belt on it like they did with the Black Series one, because that was a big letdown. And hopefully Hasbro gets them in the Black Series and put them at the right scale, because they're meant to be so much taller than they are in terms of scale. But
a little bit skinny as well, aren't they? That's one of the things that I worry about with that new vintage collection IG-11, is that even though the old IG-88 mold was, it's dated now, but it was really sturdy. And one thing I've noticed about the newer vintage collection figures is they don't feel as sturdy as older figures did. They're very thin, especially when it comes to like the joints and stuff. And I worry that figure is going to be really sort of flexible and skinny. And it's one that I think I want it, but I'm going to have to see it in person before I pick it up.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. Even since like the vintage collection came back, there's the joints just feel like a little bit more frail, a little bit softer and smaller. I don't know if it's just because we've had like a good bunch of years playing with Black Series as well, and they're really like solid and sturdy, and you sort of go back and it's like, yeah, this feels a little bit soft and frail now. But
it's just like I say, a lot of as much as I love it, I think it's a fantastic figure. But like the ARC Trooper 5's figure that they did, even like the elbow joints and the wrist, they're really thin. And like you said, just really soft. And I don't know whether it's the plastic they've started to use, but you compare them up against figures from like the 30th anniversary collection and the Legacy collection, even like the Black Series 3 3/4 inch line when that first kicked off, and they just don't feel as good. Like I said, there's just some, I can't put my finger on it. They just don't feel as substantial, I think is the best word for it.
Yeah, you could give most of the Power of the Force figures to your dog and let that chew it up in the backyard, and they still would come back looking like they were just out of the packaging. So
bulletproof.
To check your videos on the YouTube homepage, search your name and you will see how many are uploaded. Hopefully that helps.
Oh, let's have a look.
Only One Kenobi has done some good recent reviews on Power of the Force beasts. Reckon they're mostly the definitive versions. I'd agree. I think like Ronto could get a little bit of a paint upgrade, but otherwise for something that came out in 96, it looks fine. Or it would have been 97 perhaps.
Do you know what would be really good? Thinking about it, to celebrate 50 years of Lucasfilm, let's get some special edition releases back into circulation. And let's have special edition Jabba, Power of the Force repaint with photoreal. We need that.
I'd buy it.
I would. I'm pitching to Hasbro right now.
Yeah. I know you were saying in your Power of the Force video, when you kicked off your recent reviews, you were talking about them Hasbro hopefully doing a it looks like we may have lost him for a second. No, we got you. That's right. We look like we lost you for a sec there, but I think it was just a little. You're a little.
My laptop went to sleep.
A little spinning wheel there for a moment.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. Yeah, you were sort of saying like maybe Hasbro should do like a 6-inch on a Power of the Force card to just sort of harken back a little bit of nostalgia there.
Yeah, well, they're doing it with the third one, aren't they? So
yeah, and that seems to be working.
That'd be an awesome thing that they did. Even if they just did just one wave that had one card from each sort of era, so you had a wave of like not retro collection, but a wave of figures that had those older style card backs. You could do one for Power of the Force. You could do Power of the Jedi, Saga collection. I think that'd be sick. Love that. Going back to what Jedi Master 98 said, I have 986 videos on the channel. So I am 14 away from 1,000.
Far out.
Yeah, that's shocked me a little bit.
Lando is perfect, very worth the wait. Absolutely. Oh, I can't forget Wrecker. That looks like a sweet, sweet figure. I don't think it really deserves to be in a deluxe box, but
no,
you could fit him in there. Same with Zeb. Like they could have fit into a regular box, but they'll get another $10 or $15 out of us. So
yeah,
excited for both those two VC reveals, especially the Lando. The Lando looks fantastic. Like it's just Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. I can't believe it's 2004 when the last definitive Lando came
well,
out.
he's still those.
That's mad.
And that was a vintage saga collection, right? That was, and he had the swivel elbows, those horrible swivel elbows.
Yeah.
At Sith Lord, at the Force with Jesse, what are your thoughts on the sequels? I know they aren't perfect as a trilogy, but I like them and enjoyed the characters we got from the sequels. You're not a fan of Rise of Skywalker, are you?
No. It's, I take it for what it is. It's fine. I've watched it more like the first time coming out of the cinema, or while I was watching it at the cinema, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But then when you step back and overanalyze everything like we Star Wars fans tend to do, I just thought, hang on a minute, this is not as good as I maybe originally thought it was. I've watched it a couple of times since. For me, it's a popcorn movie. It's just something I can just stick on and watch and not really pay attention and, just easy watching. As part of the trilogy, I don't think it works. We could spend a good couple of hours discussing why I don't. I'm not going to say I don't like it, because that's it. Because I'm a Star Wars fan. I love all Star Wars, but I'm not going to say I don't like it. But it's the weakest one of the three, definitely.
Yeah.
It's the Phantom Menace of the sequels.
There'd be the Attack of the Clones of the sequels for me, but that's each to their own, of course. But I feel I love Rise of Skywalker. I love the trilogy, but it's definitely, to me, it feels the furthest removed from the other two. Like I feel like Force Awakens and Last Jedi they were sort of building up to a trilogy, and I think it was a wrong decision to try and close out the saga with one more movie. I think what The Last Jedi did was really it was pushing it to a point where it's like, we can finish this trilogy, but there's going to be so much time for more.
Yeah.
Like, I think when Last Jedi came out, there was still, 10, 11, 12 onward were on the plate, and they decided to wrap it up.
They tried to cram it. I just feel like they tried to cram a lot into that last film. It became just a convoluted, nonsensical mess. And
it goes by everything is very, very quick.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fast-paced movie. There's there aren't many moments to sort of breathe, really.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Return of the Jedi and you've got scenes like the briefing with Mon Mothma and Admiral Akbar. That's kind of like a nice sort of breather in between, and sort of the early like scenes on Endor. Like, that feels like a nice spot to just sort of take a breath and get ready for the action to ramp up again.
Yeah.
Same with Revenge of the Sith. That's got some moments in the middle that it's like, all right, shit's about to hit the fan, so we're going to go and just take a deep breath, because it's going to get hectic for a little while. Yeah. But Rise of Skywalker really didn't have that at all. So
it's just one speed the whole way through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like they tried to shoehorn too much into it. Like the whole thing with Ochi and Rey's parents, and
that could have been another story for another trilogy. Like,
that's it. There's so much to tell.
Yeah. Buy a couple of IG-11s, keep one carded and one loose, just in case the joints go. This is just spending $29 twice.
But then what happens when your second one's joints go?
Can we just get them by the case, Hasbro? Let's just get them by the case.
Stockpile IG-11s.
Well, just in reserves. I have one problem with the Black Series ones, is they have that little rubber elbow sort of thing. There's a little rubber that's completely decayed and frayed away on both of mine.
Oh, wow.
And it's the similar sort of rubber as the Hyper Real Vader that I got. And that one sort of, I love that Hyper Real Vader figure. Like, it looks fantastic, but all the joints and stuff just started wearing away. Like, it was just like, I literally bought it, played with it for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, got it into a cool pose that I really liked, put it on a shelf. Within 12 months, I reckon, the joints was like, the rubber was splitting. It was sort of just turning into dust.
Oh my God.
And it just fell apart.
I'm going to go and buy one.
Yeah, it just fell apart. And I contacted Hasbro. They didn't want anything to do with it. They're just like, well, that's the retailer's problem now. Like, you just have to send it back to the retailer. And I thought, you know what, the retailer's been really good to me that I bought it from.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stick it back in the box, wear the loss, and put it back on a shelf in the box. So now Bespin and Luke's aren't selling. So says something.
You're not going to invest in that one then.
No. So yeah, just a warning anyone who's thinking about jumping down the hyperreal.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the figures in the vintage collection is kind of weird in proportions. Like the ceremonial Luke has long arms and short legs. Yeah, that's still a weird figure. Like they used mostly an old figure because it's still got those weird sort of hinged legs. But yeah, it is what it is.
Did they ever go back and put ankle articulation in that figure? Because I never picked it up, so I don't really know if it's any good.
I'm just going to quickly go and have a look.
I'll do a little dance while Jesse's gone to keep you all entertained.
So no, they didn't. I haven't got the photo real one, but that's a weird looking Luke anyway. But
is that the Black Series one?
Yeah. Which it's effectively the same figure, but yeah, no ankle articulation on that one. So you can go back over there. Good luck standing on those ankles. The new vintage collection battle droid is very rubbery. That's disappointing. I had a look at them in my local EB Games, and they almost look like they've got a really sort of pearly sort of gloss coat on them, and they almost look like part of a carbonized line. Like I was like, beautiful. Get a couple more of these battle droids, but they just don't look very good.
The original wasn't that great, though. I don't think. I mean, it was a great sculpt, but it was very flimsy. It was almost too thin. I mean, you compare it to the battle droids they put out for episode 1, which were, they were battle droids on steroids. They were definitely descendants of the Power of the Force line. But yeah,
there were some good ones that came out, I think, maybe in the Saga Legends, a couple of Saga Legends lines when they used to put two of the battle droids in a pack.
Yeah.
And some of them were really good too. Like, I think they might have been 30th anniversary battle droids, but I can't remember.
They did all the different colour variations, didn't they? They did like the Geonosis ones and the droid Commandos and all that sort of stuff, yeah. God, I miss good old Hasbro.
It's funny going through that. You would have it. You just mentioned it before. The Sand Suite, the figure guide, and it's just going through there and just going, man, they put out some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Darth Mark, what's going on, man? What figures would you like to see in the Legends Black Series line coming out?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
That's a really good question. Really, really good question.
I saw there's a guy on Instagram. He goes by like Star Wars Black Series Concepts or something.
Oh yeah, I follow him.
And he just did a Star Killer from Force Unleashed 2. My God, that thing is incredible.
It really is. Did you see the one that he posted yesterday of the Clone Wars Cold Weather Gear Rex?
Yes.
Oh, I nearly had heart attacks. I thought it was real. Because
it was funny.
Because it had the fan celebration logo in the top. I was like, oh my God, they've announced another figure. And this looks amazing. And then I saw Black Series Concepts down in the bottom. I was like, oh. So close.
I wonder how often he must get sick of the comments saying, "Oh, you had me there," because I was looking through. I thought, "Oh, they've revealed 2 new vintage collection figures," and I'm like looking at all these posts, and then the next one was his, and I'm like, "Oh my God, they're doing it!" Oh, such a letdown. Get this guy working for Hasbro.
Yeah.
My top 2 would probably go Darth Malak to go with Revan because it makes sense, and I don't know why Hasbro haven't done him yet. And Jason Solo / Darth Kaitis to go with Jaina Solo, which I don't know why Hasbro haven't done it yet, because why would you release like one random character from Legends if you're not going to give him a counterpart?
Yeah,
or, someone to display with.
That's the issue, isn't it? Because then you buy these figures, and as good as they are, you're like, okay, where do I put these in the collection?
Yeah.
Because they don't really like anybody else.
And by the time they get to Jason Solo / Darth Kaitis, they're going to have photo reel, and then Jaina Solo is going to look old and crappy in comparison.
Yep.
And they're going to put her out as a photo reel, and we're all going to have to buy it again.
And you're going to get people complaining that there's been a Jason Solo figure made before a Ben Solo figure. That's gonna go down really, really well. No, I think for me, it's, I don't know. Let me have a think. I know my top one. I think I'm pretty sure everybody will probably know my top one. But I'm just having a look at some of my expanded universe figures. Oh, that's a good one. There we go. So Legends top 2.
Can I guess one? Can I guess yours?
You can.
I'll guess one of them. I reckon I know. Kyle Katarn.
There you go.
Yeah.
Numero uno. Yeah, Kyle Katarn is number 1. We need that. Well, I need that. So, but the second one, just having a scan of my expanded universe figures, I think, and you could do this as a deluxe figure as well. But Dirge, I think would be really, really.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, I think especially if they modelled him after his realistic appearance, you know, like how they did him for the comic pack back in the legacy line. I think if they did him like that with the removable helmet and like the massive claws and all that sort of stuff, really good on it, that'd be awesome. Just trying to have a look to see what Arc Trooper Alpha might be a good one. It's a bit similar to that, but that'd be decent.
Fordo.
Yes.
Fordo would be a good one.
Yeah,
Tartakovsky Clone Wars.
Just upscale that vintage collection figure as well and include all the additional accessories so you can swap it out. That'd be awesome. Mara Jade as well. That's a given.
Yeah, a lot of people would scramble over that one.
Yeah.
But instead they're apparently giving us Jackson the Rabbit. So
why? See, that wave of Legends Black Series figures really, like, it's got me, because I'm thinking, yeah, these are all going to be like kit bashes and repaints, but they're going to be good kit bashes and repaints. Like, I'm really excited about the Carno Jax figure. I think, you know, that it is just going to be a Royal Guard repaint, but I love the colour scheme on that one, and I missed out on the 3 3/4 inch version, so I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Shirtless Maul is another one. Never had a shirtless Maul, so that's going to be a good one. And even the Heir to the Empire, is it Heir to the Empire or Dark Empire Luke, where he's got the vest and like the bottom part of his snow speeder gear on?
Yeah, I think that's Heir to the Empire, because there was one that came with Amara Jade.
That's the one, yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to all of those, and then you've got Jackson, and I'm thinking, you know, when I said I wanted more aliens in the Black Series, I wasn't really thinking Wabbits. You know, like, I'm saying this, but I will end up buying it. I know I will.
I'm the same. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible human being. He thinks the vintage collection has gotten shorter in scale. I've kind of thought that myself at times as well. I just feel like some of the bits are just, they come across as a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's hard unless you sort of really group them together, and
that's it. You've got to really look at them.
And have a close look. But for the most part, I think they're okay. Like, I'm sort of looking up at my Mandalorian shelf, and yeah, I can sort of see what he means. But yeah, not sure. Interested to sort of maybe have a look into that a little bit more. Just could be the lack of sort of aliens and diverse sizes. Like, we're getting some very sort of basic stormtroopers and alien and humans, and not really a lot else at the moment.
I think they really set a standard for the new vintage collection when they released Jackface, because that is one of my favourite figures of all time. That's just a good figure. And I think they really sort of made a rod for their own back by making that one, because it is so good, and everything since hasn't really measured up. Not just because Jackface is incredibly tall, but because just
it's a good figure. Yeah,
it's just not been as good.
Just found a TIE Fighter Pilot repack wave on my travels. Why they're so hard to find when the rest of the figures are everywhere? I'm not sure what's going on there. They did that recently with one of the other wave before, where the Rex still hasn't shown up anywhere. Because they did the Rogue One Vader, the Armorer, what's his name, Moff Gideon. And Rex was meant to be in the wave too, but he's just hasn't showed up anywhere. It's not a great figure, but
yeah, it's one that I won't mind tracking down for the carded collection though, because I think Rex vintage card is something you've got to have. Yeah,
that's probably the main reason why I'd probably chase it down now as well. Rise of Skywalker is a bit of a mess, but it got me right in the feels. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I cried like a crying thing in the cinemas. I don't want to say cry. I don't want to say cry like a girl because that's a little bit politically incorrect now, and I'm a grown man that isn't afraid to let out a little bit of emotion. So definitely got me. Like I enjoy the hell out of it. I reckon it's probably been 4 months since I've watched it.
Yeah, same.
But I'm gonna have to get there. Did anyone see Star Wars Theory's latest video on the Rise of Skywalker? No, I don't follow Star Wars Theory.
Me neither.
Personally, I don't think The Last Jedi set up Episode 9 very well. I feel Episode 9 needed to be a two-parter, but I think we had another case of Disney giving up. They just said to JJ, do the best you can. I think there were a lot of things that happened post Last Jedi, not just the movie, but losing Carrie Fisher. That was probably the biggest thing. Because it was always a case of Force Awakens was going to be, it was going to be Han Solo centric in terms of, the old crew. The Last Jedi was Luke, and Episode 9 was going to be Leia, and that was going to be like all three of them were going to have basically their own movie with new cast, and then hand off the torch for the new cast to take on a new trilogy. I believe 100% that's exactly what they were trying to set up there.
It would have been a different movie if Carrie had still been with us.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think Last Jedi was setting up more than just one more movie. Like, I don't think Last Jedi was setting up for a trilogy or a saga to end at that point in time. Like it was definitely like the whole movie, like it throws it straight at you. Like, let the past die, all this stuff, and, basically brings the Resistance down to their bare minimum. And
then all of a sudden in Episode 9, it's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And, they were really just scratching for somewhere to hide. Like, they had the entire Resistance on the Falcon. And it was going to, the third of the trilogy probably would have been more along the lines of Revenge of the Sith, where the galaxy was left in complete tatters again. And then 10, 11, 12 would have been like the comparatively to the original trilogy, where it's all about the repairs of the galaxy and, fighting these demons and, personal demons like Rey's personal demons, and all that sort of stuff. And maybe Finn becoming a Jedi,
Yeah. It almost makes you wonder if the more we talk about it, the more it sort of makes sense in my head, at least, is that maybe this is why Rian Johnson's trilogy is taking so long to get out, because he's having to go back to the drawing board completely, because the original plan was for him to do Last Jedi, for Episode 9 to come out, and then for him to take the new cast on to a new trilogy. Possibly, I don't know. But it's funny that we start talking about that, because there's a magazine that came out over here in the UK. I don't know if you guys get it in Australia as well, but it's called SFX. And they put a really, really interesting cover out in last month's issue. I've got it to hand, so I'll show you. And there's an article in it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of it myself, but the prices on eBay are stupid.
I managed to get the last one before it stopped. Well, the last one on shelf at my local store before it went out of circulation. But there's an article in it about the original script and the original story and stuff, the Trevorrow story treatment, and that would have been the better film, surely.
Yeah, I've read through the script and I've done all that. It's hard because it wouldn't be until you someone actually went and made it and you could actually put it next to each other and then compare it. But look, I love the look of Kylo Ren's helmet on the front of that cover there. It's wild.
It is a bit.
There was some really, really crazy ideas in that movie that would have just been completely ridiculous. But I still think in setting up a fourth trilogy, it could have worked really well. But
I just think I mean, don't get me wrong. There are elements of it that felt like because I read the script as well, and when I read it, I thought this is a bit fan fiction. This, it doesn't sound all that good. I think some of the bits that I'd probably have gotten rid of would be like the Tove Allen stuff, with Palpatine's old master. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. But but in terms of like the directions of the characters and stuff, I think it made a lot more sense. Like the Stormtrooper uprising on Coruscant with Finn leading the charge would have just been so good.
And like Hux basically commits suicide with Mace Windu's lightsaber or something. Like,
yeah, this is what I mean. It's like it is like that's a good idea, but it is a little bit.
Yeah,
it's fan fiction-y, isn't it? When you think about it.
Like when they dropped that, when they dropped all the artwork, a year ago, all the like concept art for it, it was like, there's some weird, crazy stuff in here. Like,
yeah, definitely.
But had we gotten that instead, we wouldn't know the difference, would we? So,
well, that's it. And I'm sure there'd have been things that we'd have disagreed with or criticised or loved or hated in that. So, you know, it's one of those things. It's Star Wars, isn't it? It's meant to be.
Lawrence Kasdan just wants to kill everyone in a movie. That's my problem. It's like, what makes people get emotional in a movie? When you kill them. I like that Rey's father was a clone of Palpatine. It felt very sci-fi, almost like Blade Runner 2049. I like the idea. I just wish they'd spent maybe a little bit more time on that, a little less time on other things.
Yeah, likewise.
Because it was, unless you're into all the ancillary material like comics and reading the novel, it's really not explained in the movie at all. Like,
no.
There should have been an extended edition, perhaps. I don't know. But there were so many just sort of vague things happening there. Like, it was only because of ancillary material that we know that Palpatine was a clone of himself. It wasn't his like original form. But yeah, we shouldn't have to rely on that stuff to get a full thing. But I think we're going to get to that with all the other TV shows. And a bit like I've said it before, like the Clone Wars and Rebels really sort of painted around the prequels and into the original trilogy to form a bigger, greater picture. And I think the sequel trilogy still, you know, in terms of that, is still a very small picture in terms of, you know, we still need to get all that other material around it to sort of fill in that story a little bit more. But I partly blame John Williams for his evocative score of the big Suki Lala. I'm with you there. What a magician. What an absolute magician.
Definitely.
Daisy Ridley said this week she would play Rey Palpatine / Skywalker again.
Down for that.
Get that gold saber out.
Yep.
They got the First Order still occupying planets. I think I said it on my stream last week. Like, the First Order still occupying a big portion of the galaxy, and there's still a lot to be cleaned up.
Then maybe Finn could get his story fleshed out in the way that John Boyega wanted it to, and you could get Rey trained in and all that sort of stuff. That'd be good.
They built the story around Finn, but was never finished it in any way.
This is why the Stormtrooper uprising in Duel of the Fates would have been so good. It'd have been such a good. It would have just finished off his story and the story of all like Stormtroopers in the First Order just perfectly. It'd been so good. Oh. Pains me to think of what could have been.
Last Jedi, although I like it, is my least favorite of the Star Wars movies. It felt very final for a mid trilogy movie. It does, and that's the point I reiterate. Like, it wasn't meant to be setting up a finale. Like, it was meant to be setting up more. Like, it was going to go for another 10 years. Like, yeah.
It's like Force Awakens started the uphill slope, and then Last Jedi really like took it on a vertical slide, and then Rise of Skywalker was just like, oh yeah, we're just going to chuck you off the end.
Yeah, done. Daisy is a muppet. You take that back. She doesn't. She is my second wife. She doesn't know it yet. My first wife doesn't know it yet. When I thought Chewie died is when I lost it, and Chewie's reaction to Leia's death so many feels.
Yeah.
The bit that did it for me was after Leia's death to save Ben, him standing there just sort of looking out over the ocean trying to think about it, and then, you know, Han just saying, "Hey kid." Like that, I was just completely snapped at that point. I was a blubbering mess.
Same. Same.
And just like the whole redoing that conversation from Force Awakens, like, it's just
because in that moment as well, when Kylo is looking out into the ocean and stuff, there's no music, and it's just like all you can hear is like the crashing waves. It's just it's man, it got me. That's where I lost it as well, and Chewie's reaction as well. I think Chewie's reaction when I lost it in Force Awakens as well.
Yeah,
it's all Chewie's fault.
Chewie getting his medal killed me. Yeah, another moment. Oh, there's just so much I love about the movie, but
that's the thing. Like, there's moments in the film that I love, but the film itself just doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But there are bits of it that I absolutely really like. I really love.
Yeah,
it's a weird one.
It is. I'm so far behind on the comments here, but we'll get there. We'll catch up. Yeah, I'd like to see Rey train Finn. He deserves more of a spotlight in the future stories when they come back around to the sequels characters. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I loved in the Lego Holiday Special they did late last year where Finn started learning how to use the Force.
Yeah.
And someone did, I can't remember who it was, they did an awesome art piece of Rey training Finn on Arc 2, and Finn, like, he didn't have Jedi robes, but it was something a little bit more Jedi-like, and he had a green lightsaber. I'm like, that's so cool. Like, just to see them both training, like.
Yeah, I want to see that. Even if we get that in animation, I'd love it.
Yeah. Hope the new Wampa doesn't get sticky like the old one did.
I hope.
That's kind of, that one's lost me a little bit, but Lando and the Fleet was epic too. That was a good one. That was almost the Churchill moment, that one.
Yeah. I think that was another missed opportunity though as well, because I think you could have like really zoned into some of the pilots in that scene and picked apart just like who, because like when they deliver that line when it says that's not a fleet, it's just people. Like show us who's in these cockpits. It doesn't even have to be anybody of any significance. You don't have to show us, Kaz from Resistance or Hera from Rebels. Just show us all these different
randoms.
People. Yeah, random aliens, random people. That'd have been just and have them all in like this is
it would just
so and so standing by, and just show us who was there.
Yeah.
I still stand by the fact that Dash Rendar was there in the Outrider. I will cling on to that hope.
Yeah, that would be cool. It took off from Mos Eisley, didn't it, in the New Hope? So
yeah, there we go. That's where he was going. He knew.
He just go, I'm just gonna wait here for 35 years until something happens.
Yep.
Darth Malgus would be sweet too. That'd be a good Black Series figure. Yeah.
Really would. I'm with you on that though. Darth Malak in Black Series would be pretty good.
Rather have a Legends line than gaming greats. I feel like gaming greats, like you could almost have they're going with the individual packaging for each movie, each sort of thing. You could almost do that with the games. Like you could almost have like a dedicated Jedi Fallen Order, dedicated Battlefront.
Yeah.
And that way everyone knows what everything's from. It's not just gaming greats, it's from a video game. Like expand it a little bit, get people interested in each of the singular brands. Looking forward to more Black Series gaming greats. Hopefully they're Republic Commandos. Oh yes. Coinciding with the remaster of Republic Commandos, the game on PS5, 4 and 5 coming soon.
I saw the trailer for that. I thought, oh my god, this looks amazing.
I haven't watched it yet.
It looks really, really good.
Nice. I'm going to have to check that out.
They have remastered it and smoothed it out and all that sort of stuff. It looks incredible. I never played Republic Commando. Well, I played it briefly for the PC and I couldn't get into it. But I think now I'm willing to give it a second try. That'd be awesome.
What do you think of the prices of Exar Kun? Yeah, look, if anyone wants a kidney, I have a kidney I'll be willing to trade.
Yeah.
I've written that off. Yeah, I've written that off from my collection. It's just like, nah, I'm never going to get it unless I find it for like a fluke of a price for some reason. I remember thinking like 10 years ago, I'm like, oh, it's $200. I should probably get this at some point. And now it's like $700 or $800.
Yeah.
It's like, get out of here.
It's one that I really regret not picking up because I saw it in store when it was out, and I was like, no, I'm just going to buy this clone comic pack instead. I've got tons, but I need this one. And then went back for the Exar Kun one afterwards, and it wasn't there. and I regret it to this day.
One of those fish-looking guys from KOTOR in Gaming Greats. Fish-looking guys, I'm thinking, is that the Rakata? The Rakata guys? They got the sort of bulbous eyes on the side of their head. That's what I'm thinking anyway. They look cool. Hey, Darth Muzzer, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Instead, Jackson the Rabbit is the figure I'm most excited about. I don't even collect Black Series. Really hope we'll get him in the 3.75. There are more people out there that want Jackson the Rabbit. Yeah. I remember at one stage it was just Dan Curto that really wanted Jackson the Rabbit.
There were a ton of people that wanted Yana Dalgargan as well at one point, and look how that turned out. But
yeah, Joe Custer knew anyone?
Yeah, I'm excited for Jackson in a weird way, but it's sort of like I've got no connection to that character. I've never read any comics that he was in, so I'm not that bothered about him. It's just one of those things. I just don't have any connection to the character. I don't want to pick it up.
Yeah, I think that's my thing too. Like, it's just didn't grow up on the comics. Don't really know much about the character. I know he was seen dead in the Clone Wars, so that's Wilro Hood. I've been trying to find a Wilro Hood too, like the Legacy Collection one. That's gone up in price too.
Is it?
Because the whole joke about the ice cream maker's gotten around, and they have the running of the Wilro Hoods at every celebration now, where there's just 200, 300 people all dressed up as Wilro Hood running through the convention for an hour. Jackson will look good on my UT shelf. I'm also looking forward to such a unique character. Maybe since most people don't know who he is, I'll be able to find one in stores for once.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. I'll be able to find quite a few.
Dave McFadden. Hey, David. I hope you're doing well. More expanded universe and vintage collection.
Yes, please.
Vintage collection is still my number one go-to collection. Yeah, I find it hard to really separate myself from vintage and Black Series these days. There's just the best of both worlds, and if I had to pick one, I don't know if I could. I'd probably sell the lot and go Hot Toys, but could sell 1,500 figures and buy 3.
It's a shame, because if you'd have asked us like 5 years ago, then I dare say we'd have said, "Oh no, give us more vintage collection. We can sacrifice Black Series." But I think because the focus has shifted so dramatically towards Black Series, it's like, well, if I sacrifice Black Series, then I'm never going to get any more 3 3/4 inch figures. But then I don't know about you, but I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm really having to cherry pick VC figures because I'm just running out of space. Whereas I've got a lot more room for growth within my Black Series collection.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to have to. And it's making it easier because they're not releasing waves of vintage collection figures anymore. They're just doing 1 or 2 at a time, which is it sucks in a way, but it's better for the wallet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the long gone are the times where every 3 months would roll around and you'd have 12 new figures coming out. Like, now it's like, oh, you get 1 now, and we'll put out 3 next week that you bought 8 years ago. The repack TVC 3PO is too small. Yeah, it was the same, because that's the same one from the very start of the vintage collection back in 2010, and it was too small back then. I remember Hasbro addressed that back in like 2010, 11. They basically said, like they made the mold the size of the figure, so when the figure comes out of the mold, it shrinks, the plastic shrinks or something like that. I vaguely remember that, which is just how I remember little news things like that from 11 years ago is just beyond me. But I forget the most simplest things, like how to cook toast. I picked up the TVC TIE Fighter pilot from Uncle Zing, but they only got 1. Would love to still get a hold of VC5's carded figure. Wish they'd release more of him. Very hard to get a hold of. I'll keep my eyes open for you, Eddie, because if I spot them online, I will flick you a link and see if we can track one down.
Yeah, I sourced mine from Amazon, and it was a really weird chance find, really, because I've found little tip for anybody who's shopping on Amazon for Star Wars figures: don't type in Star Wars Vintage Collection or Star Wars Black Series into the search bar, because it doesn't work. It doesn't bring anything up. Instead, type SWVC or SWBS, and it brings up so much more stuff, which is weird.
So,
but it does it.
The other one I've discovered is SW space VIN.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah,
it's really weird that stuff comes up for those, but
I heard a rumor that Gina Carano is in talks with the WWE. Yeah. I don't really feel like talking about Gina Carano anymore.
We've said all there is to say, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. Mixed up my Jar Jar Binks from Zing today about bloody time. Awesome. It's such a good figure, that Black Series Jar Jar. Have you got him yet?
I'm still waiting on him because I've got him pre-ordered. I've got him in the same pre-order with Darkside Ray, the Incinerator Trooper, and the new Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. And
nice.
The Black Series. So the Boba Fett figure is holding the rest of my order up because I've pre-ordered them.
Right.
So figures that I should have had 3 months ago, I'm still waiting for. I'm probably not going to get until like May, June.
But, it'll be worth the wait.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait.
Darth Muzzer, sorry, Sith Lord, I've got to say g'day.
G'day.
At the end of the day, most of the sequel trilogy problems come from nobody enforcing a strict overall story like the Russo brothers do in the MCU. Yeah.
This is a conversation I had with my wife the other night when we were watching WandaVision. I said, how can Disney, who own Marvel, get the Marvel universe so right and then make such a mess of Star Wars? It doesn't make any sense. It seems like they're learning from the lessons. Like to say, now that we're going all in with Mando and we're really setting some stuff up there. I think they're trying to connect all the dots again. But yeah,
I think it sort of comes down to corporate pressure. Disney invested $4 billion in Lucasfilm and Star Wars, and they go, well, we need a movie out straight away, basically. Get to work, everyone. Whereas Marvel has had, it's been a slow build. Like they started with Iron Man, and it's sort of built up to this point now where, we're 8 episodes into WandaVision, and in the 7th episode, they're showing like a scene of a book. Like, spoiler alert.
Yeah, we're going to say don't spoil anything for episode 8 because I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so you saw the end credit scene of episode 7?
Yeah,
cool. So there's a book there that's in her little underground lair there, and that is meant to be the book that is missing from the Sanctum Sanctorum in Doctor Strange, which came out in 2016. 2017 maybe.
Their long-term story planning is just it's like amazing.
4 or 5 years removed, and they're referencing something from a 5-year-old movie.
Yeah,
and it's literally just like a pass-by thing. Like, there's a book missing on this shelf, and then 5 years later, we'll find out that it's just bizarre. It's incredible.
They do it so well.
Like, there's obviously a really good team of people working on this stuff, and I hope that Star Wars, like going into Ahsoka, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Rangers of the New Republic, this is where we start getting this sort of really cohesive storytelling where everything starts linking together like that, because I think that will just spell success going forward.
Yeah.
Favorite bit in Duel of the Fates was Chewie flying an X-Wing. Didn't make a lick of sense.
Yes. Yeah, that would have been something.
I just don't see him fitting in there.
Yeah, like
it's just a big ball of fur.
I've just got visions of him like with his feet sticking through the window like Seth Rogen in Pineapple Express.
That's a sad but true fact right there. I do like Disney, but I think they were just rushing to make a trilogy to make their money back on the Star Wars investment.
Yeah.
I think that's, it's as plain as day. That's what happened there. I was more upset about Chewie's reaction to hearing about the death of Leia. Ray trained Finn in the Lego Holiday Special, so hopefully Disney is alluding to something to come one day. Apparently that has something to do with the delays of the Lego Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga, is that they are going to build past Episode 9, but it's also a Lego game, so it shouldn't be treated as canon and, just have fun with it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd want to be trying to write deep and meaningful storytelling about, some really loved characters for a Lego game. Like, come on.
Just
The fleet arriving, yeah. The fleet arriving was awesome, but I thought they should have showcased the ships a bit better, maybe with ships broadsiding each other like in episode 3. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I pointed out on a live stream months ago that I really like, there's one sort of wide angle where you sort of see all the Final Order Star Destroyers, and you sort of see the fleet, and they're all these like tiny little ships are all just sort of swarming around the thing. And it reminded me of Lord of the Rings when the army of the dead come out of the mountain and they just sort of swarm up all the Oliphants and just sort of pile through the army. Like, it just made me think of that. It's like this secret armies just come out of nowhere and just completely overwhelm them. I thought that was really cool.
I read I forgot what it was that I was reading. It was on Twitter or somewhere, I can't remember, but it said something about another ridiculous line amongst many ridiculous lines in that movie is when Poe makes a reference about not being able to do something in his X-Wing, and Lando's like, that's all right, because I can do it in this fast ship, and it's the Falcon. and it's like, everybody knows that an X-Wing is much faster than a Millennium Falcon. Like, why is it? It's like, hey, what?
The other thing was like, Poe, there's two people hanging off the edge of that ship. Like, where are you going to put them when you get there with your X-Wing?
Yeah.
Like, you're just going to let them land on the wings and then you just hope for the best? Like, come on. Yeah, I don't know. I found that to be a little bit silly, but did Rey cut herself on that blade when she was looking at the Death Star? I thought I seen blood on it. If so, I wonder if someone might clone her in the future. I'd like to see sort of cloning used sparingly in Star Wars going forward.
Yeah,
like, I kind of get it. Like, it's a thing and it's there, but I don't want it to be like, oh, by the way, Palpatine's cloned himself again.
It's an easy way out, isn't it, to explain?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's probably like second only to time travel. Was like, don't start bringing time travel in, like, please.
Yeah. That's what I was worried about with the World Between Worlds. I'm really glad that they haven't truly tapped into that yet.
Yeah, they need to establish some like pretty hard rules for that as well if they're going to delve into it a bit deeper. Will Hood should be done for the Vintage Collection. Agreed. He was the absolute star of Empire Strikes Back.
MVP.
I've fallen down that rabbit hole of collecting Black Series and the Vintage Collection. Goodbye, social life. At least I've got you guys. Hey, we're here for you.
Right there,
we're here for you.
That's one of the only reasons I've been able to pick up so many figures over the past 10 months because I haven't had anywhere to be.
I didn't like going out anywhere before COVID.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to go out now, and I don't want to. Thanks for the tip regarding searching for Star Wars items on Amazon.
No worries.
I know that the Jackson figure coming out may seem weird for a lot of people, but for someone who's old enough to remember reading his story in the Marvel comic, I'm excited. I'm excited for all the people that are excited about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. For all my complaints, I do feel like Star Wars is a wonderful position at the moment. The future and present is very bright.
Absolutely.
Agreed. I just wish that High Republic had some more than just books. I'm halfway through. I'm halfway through the third one now, and I'm really, really digging it. I'm reading Claudia Gray's Into the Dark, and that's fantastic so far. They've just landed on. If anyone reads the comics as well, there's a bit in The Rise of Kylo Ren where young Ben Solo runs to go find Snoke, and he's on this sort of space station. And basically, we've gone back 200 years before Phantom Menace, and they've just docked into this space station. The same thing, which is like
the giant space greenhouse.
Yeah, basically. It's so cool so far. Like, it's that little things that, like, it's like, oh, that's cool. You know, I can picture it because I've seen it in the comic that takes place like 250 years later.
Yeah, that's what makes me wonder that where things are going. Like, now they're going to start trying to like connect all the dots and make things line up and stuff. It's I'm optimistic for that. That's another story that I think needs some more diving into, is that Rise of Kylo Ren comic, because so that even though it answers a few questions from the movie, it then leaves another set of questions open. with regards to other things, and it's such a good comic. I love that. I haven't dived into the High Republic stuff yet, but I think the graphic novels once they do a volumized edition of some of those graphic novels. 'Cause I'm not too bothered about the novels, but the comic books I will probably end up reading at some point. I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, you could get on probably Star Wars Explained on YouTube would probably just do some videos just covering the stories as well. So if you wanted a quick hash of what the stories are and stuff, that's probably not a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
WandaVision as a take on an original story in the old Marvel books. She created a fake world around her kids and all, and then went insane and tried to kill everyone.
Yeah, but that's pretty much where we're going, isn't it?
Yeah. Because later she found out that the whole world was just made up one because she made it, and when she went insane after she found out the kids never existed.
Oof.
Yeah. That's heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Bliss never got much of a part in the Rise of Skywalker. I personally don't think she was needed.
No.
I like the character. I think she was really cool. I really like her, but I don't think it was necessarily needed. Like, I think it would have been cool you could completely switch out Kajimi and you could have, maybe posoing Rose, go back to Rose's planet and saying, let's go get some help from my home planet. There's still people there that are willing to help. And that way you bring Rose into the story a whole lot more. You give her a bit more purpose with her own planet. But, it's just a case of JJ wanting to give his friend a job. So,
yeah,
which it's fair, but it is what it is. Oh, I just read that one. Hey, Mike. All the way from Canada. I'll get this Jackson Bunny just to add to my EU collection.
I really want it to be his canonized name. Jackson Bunny.
Jackson Bunny.
On the box and everything.
It's like Bugs' messed up, crack-addicted brother.
Yep.
With all these movies and TV shows coming out for Star Wars, I'm really worried about space for my collection. Don't worry, I think Hasbro's got us covered there. They just won't put anything out. We haven't got anything from Rise of Skywalker yet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I'm old enough to remember the dark times when Star Wars was pretty much dead, mid-'80s through the 90s. The dark times. I would love to get a comment to stay on the screen. I would love to get a Red Eyes C-3PO and Babu Frick in TVC. Yeah, that'd be cool. Babu Frick would be like, I guess they just did the Baby Yoda, didn't they? So Babu Frick could be similar size.
I think, to be fair, the Black Series, they could just stick the Black Series Babu Frick in a vintage card and it'd be sorted. There's not much further in terms of downscaling.
Yeah.
Really go.
I thought they were going to do that with Baby Yoda too. I thought they were just like, doesn't need to be that much smaller, and then you get it out and it's freaking tiny little dude.
Yeah.
And he's got articulated arms and a head. It's like
they keep popping out, frustrating.
And they're gonna put him on his own vintage card that's gonna cost the same as a regular figure.
That is mad. You're paying for the crib, aren't you, more than anything else with that one?
Yeah. Did you pre-order the Razor Crest?
I came very, very, very close, but it ultimately boiled down to a lack of space for me. I really wanted it because I thought it looked. I really regret not getting the barge, so I wanted to have at least one HasLab project in the collection, but I just don't know where I'm going to put it, and I'm still trying to sort of hold out hope that at some point I will add a Lego Death Star to my collection, and the space that I'd need for that would get trumped by the Razor Crest, so I just decided to leave it. But I'm looking forward to seeing reviews on it. Can't wait to see it, like, actually as a manifested plastic thing. I'm really excited for that. I'm more excited to see, like you were saying about Jackson earlier, I'm more excited to see other people excited about it than I am to see it myself. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I've got a friend who's pre-ordered it, so I might have to pop round to his house and go and check it out to see it in person. But
just pick it up and run around the yard with it and just I have no idea where I'm going to put that thing when it comes in is it October or November? I got no space in here. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I've ordered it, so
that's the thing, isn't it? You just order stuff and figure out the the issues later.
Yeah, I'll let future me deal with that.
That's it.
Future me cops a lot of crap from me. How about all the Knights of Ren in 6 and 3.75 inch? You're preaching to the choir there, Sci-Fi. It needs to happen. They're so good.
Battle packs. I miss battle packs. We'd have had them by now if battle packs were still a thing. So
I remember back in the day, you guys were calling them heated discussion packs because they went down to like 3 figures. It's like it's not a battle anymore; it's just a heated argument.
Yeah, back on boring conversation anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, those were the days.
Yeah,
those were the days. Podcasts, battle packs. Oh man, I miss the mid 2000s so much.
They should put Babu Frick and Red Eye 3PO in the same pack to make it worth our money, but who knows with Hasbro? Cha-ching, cha-ching. No, they'll put Babu Frick. He'll come with half a battle droid.
Yeah.
And just like a box of crap. All on board for Knights of Ren. Like, I don't understand how they put one out in Black Series and it's like, we're done now. Just get them done.
What was more baffling for me is the fact that they put one out in Black Series and then a different one in Vintage. It's like, if you're going to do it, at least make it so, because it's so frustrating to look at your 3 3/4 inch shelf and see one of the Knights of Ren on that shelf and then look at your Black Series shelf and see a different one on that one. It's like, just where is the synergy? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
at least if you put out a Ben Solo, you could pretend that he killed all the other ones already, and that one's just the last one.
This is the thing. Like, it's like I don't know if you've seen the new Funko Pop announcements of the Rise of Skywalker. And I'm just like, what can't Hasbro do that Funko are doing so well? I know that Pops are a divisive thing. I love them, but I know that there's not a lot of people that do. But you cannot fault their character selection. The amount of characters that they put out is just, like I said, in terms of because I know a lot of people always put it down to the licensing costs of the Star Wars license, the Star Wars brand, and that's why they don't make as much, because it costs them more money. But surely Hasbro have got to have a similar sort of budget to Funko, if not more.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, the sheer amount of characters and stuff that Funko put out in relation to different characters against Hasbro is mad.
Yeah. But I think also if Hasbro's making, multiple characters and putting multiples on store shelves, and people are being able to go out and buy all these figures that we want in, way more than we're able to buy it now, surely that is enough sort of profit margin there that they'd be able to cover their licensing fees.
Yeah, you'd think so. That's the thing.
I can understand they're struggling to pay the license now when they're not bringing any income from putting stuff or product out there. So
make more stuff and you will make more money.
Yeah.
Isn't it a funny thing?
You've got a couple of silly Star Wars fans on YouTube that can work this stuff out, but you've got a bunch of people in a skyscraper somewhere that there's not a lot going on the top floor. Yeah,
always the case.
Going to take up my holiday Babu Frick and paint him. I think I just finished painting my holiday snowtroopers.
Oh, I forgot they did those, and I forgot that they did a holiday Babu Frick.
Oh, yeah, you had a little bit of good time there where you forgot about them.
Yeah.
They're still on clearance down here. They're not selling. They started off at $55, which for you is probably about £30, I guess, 28 to 30. And they're down to $19 now, and they're still just sitting around.
Wow. I think I saw them. I've seen them listed online, and I've seen them in stores once, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm fine with not having them. If they'd have done I think we talked about this before, but if they'd have done holiday themed Star Wars figures in the same sort of vein as the holiday figures they put out years ago, like the holiday or the holiday Yoda and the holiday R2 and 3PO, that'd have been awesome. I'd have loved that.
Base them on the old Macquarie Christmas cards.
Yeah, I'd have been all over that. But if they'd have done them tastefully, but they would just be ugly.
So Sci-Fi says, my Razor Crest is going on the floor. I'm spooked my wife will step or trip on it. Get one of those fireplace grates, like those little protective gates that you put in front of your fireplace, and just put that over in front of it.
Yeah, just impound it. My ATTE and my ATAT are on the floor, and every time I put up my lights to shoot new reviews, I always end up taking the cannon off the top of my ATTE, and I always end up knocking the head of my ATAT, which launches the top bit of that, like that handle launcher thing. And it's like, oh my god, like there's just rockets firing and stuff going up in the air everywhere. It's mad. So I'm trying to not buy anything that's too big that I have to put it on the floor.
All right, so we're at an hour and a half now, so I reckon we'll start wrapping up, but we'll get through these last bunch of comments, and if anyone's got any last questions and stuff they want to have a quick chat about, we'll get to it and we'll wrap it up. Jackson's Star Wars Easter Bunny certainly is. Hello, I Babu Frick is my voicemail message.
Love that.
I love Small Knights of Ren. Prefer the battle packs rather than the Evolutions 3 packs. I like some of those Evolutions 3 packs. I remember getting the Sith Lords one with Darth Bane, Darth Nihilus, and I think it was Darth Maul. I think shirtless Darth Maul came in that pack. I think I got that for like $19 at Toys R Us. It was on clearance. So that was like
the thing with like battle packs and evolution sets is that there's such a market. There's such an incredible wealth of characters they could dip into to bring those lines back. And it's the same with like the comic packs as well, because Marvel are now doing the Star Wars comics again, bring back the comic packs. We're seeing, characters appear in multiple areas of the Star Wars universe now that you could bring back evolutions, and you've got a wealth of action to pack into, to dive into for battle packs. So there's all this, there's this abundance of characters there that they could bring all these popular lines back, like we said, make a ton of money.
And they're the kind of things that would make good exclusives, like good store exclusives. Like if you want to do a Walgreens exclusive in the US, like put out a comic pack, and maybe let specialist retailers internationally get it, or online retailers internationally get it. So you don't have to worry about them clogging pegs, because no one that shops at Walmart or Target or any of that doesn't know who these characters are. You don't have to worry about them clogging the pegs, but you put out a certain amount to online / exclusive stores, and I think that would work.
Yeah, I mean, it's like even if they took an approach to this, where they released like the packs and, like you said, the comic packs and the Evolutions packs and stuff as exclusives, but kept individual figures as mainline basic releases. There's no reason for figures like Zeb or Wrecker or Grievous to be exclusive. Just release them in the line. Just give them a widespread release and make the more sort of niche stuff an exclusive. You know what I mean? Because people are going to want to buy main characters, and if stuff's an exclusive, they can't do it. Whereas if you release a niche comic pack that's based off a comic that the majority of people who are casual Star Wars fans but want to pick up stuff from the movies haven't read, they're probably going to go, well, I'm going to pick up the main figure than this exclusive, because I've no idea who these people are. So it's a strange one. Again, why are we so much smarter than Hasbro? It's painful to be this smart.
Do we need a cheaper 5 POA line again? I don't think so, but you know what? In terms of Force Awakens, at least, a little bit of Rogue One. It started lessening towards Last Jedi and Solo, but they got more characters out that way.
This is the thing. I think we needed one for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And then I think we could have wrapped it up there.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
It feels so weird that we got an exclusive, well, not an exclusive, but an individual line for Force Awakens. We got a line for Rogue One. We got a line for Last Jedi, and we got a line for Solo. But we'll not have one for Rise of Skywalker. Yeah,
and you think at that point they probably would have been at least partway through a process of getting them made. So they're all just sitting on a shelf. Like, I don't know. It's bizarre, but they should have just finished it up with them.
Yeah, just for that consistency.
Bad Batch. I can't wait for Bad Batch to come out. May the 4th.
Yeah.
Where's Chaz Guru when you need him? The meme machine. doesn't help when Walmart managers are inside trading. I did see a video where John from Super Awesome Geek Show, he basically had a first-hand, run-in with Walmart managers sort of wheeling and dealing figures before they're even putting them out on shelf.
Really?
Like in terms of Marvel, I think a couple he used as an example were like there's a Red Ninja out in Marvel Legends, and they were looking up their figures before they were going on shelves on their like online apps and eBay and stuff, and they were holding them back to sell themselves later.
Wow.
Make a bit of personal profit there, which is that stuff's not good.
No.
Where do you think Grogu was during the Jedi Temple raid?
I don't know, but I would like to know. I'm hoping that's a story that gets told. I'm not going to speculate on it too much because I know that my theories just end up going right out of the window. So I don't know, but I want to know.
I like to think that Quinlan Vos came and took him away because I still have my fingers crossed that Quinlan Vos is out there alive somewhere.
Yeah. I think we're just going to end up seeing. I think Mando and Grogu are going to have another meeting before the events of the temple occur.
Yeah,
that's my feeling.
Yeah. Cool chat, lads. Will this be a regular on Saturday nights? I've been doing this regularly on Saturday nights for the last few months, so yeah, definitely. Yeah, whenever Steve's available, he's more than welcome to come and join in.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to have someone to chat to. I tend to do it solo most of the time, but it's cool when I get someone to chat with, and yeah, it makes it a bit more fun. I still have a great time on my own anyway, but
got to. You're talking Star Wars. You're gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Hey, Hasbro, bring that old Toys R Us store manager out of retirement to look after Star Wars. He really knew his stuff. Who was the Toys R Us store manager? I reckon they go try and get Daryl DePriest back on board. I think he's.
Oh God, yeah.
He was the man back then. He was right there in the golden era. Like he was the reason characters like Effant Mon and Hermie Odell got made. Like they wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole these days. But he pushed hard for those figures. Like he was a collector himself, and I think he had hundreds of vintage stormtroopers himself, and he had a basement full of toys, and he's doing the vintage collection book at the moment with a group of folks, which is obviously an ongoing process as vintage figures keep coming out. So I haven't checked on the status of that recently, but yeah, he knew what he was doing back at Hasbro back then, and it's a shame that he isn't around, but he's around, but he's not at Hasbro. Yeah, we'll get you on again, Mark. Definitely. We'll get you back very, very soon. All right, folks, we might wrap up there. Appreciate you stopping by, Steve. It was good to chat with you again.
No worries. Thank you for having me again.
We'll do it again. But yeah, thanks to everyone in the comments that stopped by and had a chat with us tonight. It was good fun. Good to get a little bit nostalgic with the Power of the Force 2 stuff.
Yeah. The only problem is now I'm just going to be trolling through eBay again when we come off. So
yeah. My wife walked past me in the house. She's like, "You're looking at eBay again?"
It's like, yes, used to it by now.
Good night, Eddie. Appreciate you stopping by as always. Always here every week. Most of these guys are here every week. It's fantastic. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you all very soon. Until the next video, stay tuned. And yeah, may the Force be with you guys.
Bye.